Welcome back to True Crime XX. Today, we're unraveling some of the most mysterious unsolved cases. Get ready for stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Let's dive in.
Isn't it he left? He left the baby dead when he left. Okay, where did he leave the baby? Okay, he said it was in the...
The story of Katie and Stephen Platt is one of the wildest cases I have ever covered. The disturbing and tragic story has caused a lot of discussion on media. Let's get into it. In 1995, 20-year-old Stephen Platt meets a girl on internet who becomes his future wife. The girl was 15 years old, Alyssa Garcia. They quickly fell in love with each other. Even though Alyssa was a minor at the time, their parents didn't stand in the way of their relation. Soon Alyssa becomes pregnant, and in 1998, at the age of 17, she gives birth to a baby girl, fathered by her soon-to-be husband, Stephen. They named the little girl Denise. After the birth of their daughter, Stephen's behavior changed. According to Alyssa, Stephen was abusive towards their infant daughter. Alyssa alleged that Stephen would pinch Denise until her body was left black and blue. He would also stuff Denise in a cooler to drown out her crying, preventing Alyssa from freeing the terrified infant until she was on the verge of suffocating. Despite this, though, Alyssa stays with Stephen and eventually ends up marrying him. Even after marriage, cruel behavior of Stephen towards their daughter didn't stop, and so Alyssa had to take the hardest decision a mother could take. Alyssa and Stephen placed Denise up for adoption. The little girl was adopted by Anthony and Kelly Fusco. Neighbors described them as very kind and open-minded. They gave the baby a new name, Katie Fusco, and they lived together in Dutchess County, New York. In 2007, almost 10 years after giving birth to their first daughter, Alyssa gives birth to her and Stephen's second child, a baby girl. Alyssa stated that they were more grown up and ready to have children at this stage in life. 5 years later, in 2012, Alyssa gives birth to their third daughter. While raising their two daughters, the tension between the pair increased. Stephen's ill-tempered behavior increased throughout the marriage. To make things worse, Alyssa said he would destroy things in the home when he was upset, punching holes in the wall. All the while Katie was growing old, graduating high school, and was an articulate lady. After graduating from high school, she had plans to enroll in the local community college and then eventually transfer to SUNY Purchase to study digital advertising. Like any adoptive child, Katie grows curious about her biological family. With the help of social media, she tracks down Alyssa, now 37, and Stephen, now 42. The estranged parents and daughter begin to correspond. After continuing to correspond with her birth parents, Katie's plans changed. Instead of enrolling in college, she opts to move to Henrico, Virginia to live with Stephen, Alyssa, and their other two daughters. When Katie arrived in Virginia to live with her biological parents, Stephen's behavior changes around Katie. He tried to look younger than his age, wearing clothes similar to the guys of Katie's age. Katie and Stephen grew a bond. Alyssa found this weird. It went to an extent where Stephen began sleeping on Katie's bedroom floor each night. According to Alyssa, she and Stephen had already been sleeping in separate beds for months prior. On November of 2016, Alyssa moves out of the home and files for divorce from Stephen. They split custody of the two younger child. Alyssa allegedly had suspicions about Stephen's relationship with Katie, but was not completely aware of how far it had gone. Katie stayed with her father. Now, with no one to stand between them, Katie and Stephen began a sexual relationship. Stephen instructs his two younger daughters to begin referring to Katie as their stepmom rather than their sister. At some point, Katie learns she is pregnant with Stephen's child. On 23rd of May, Alyssa reads her 11-year-old daughter's diary after a visit with Stephen and Katie. From there, Alyssa learns that her ex-husband was engaging in a sexual relationship with their oldest biological daughter. She also learns that Katie is pregnant with Steven's baby. After confronting Steven about it, Alyssa decides to contact the police. Henrico County police officers interview Steven and Alyssa's two other children, but no arrests were made. To leave everything behind, Katie and Steven moved to Knightdale, North Carolina. Soon after moving to North Carolina, they discuss marriage. On July 20th, 2017, Katie and Steven gets married in Maryland. Their marriage was official. They were able to legally wed because they did not disclose their father-daughter relationship. Katie can clearly seen pregnant in their wedding photos. Their wedding ceremony was complete with guests, including Steven's parents and Katie's adoptive parents. Katie's adoptive parents reportedly felt there was nothing they could do except support Katie. On September 1st, 2017, Katie gives birth to her father's baby. They named the little boy Bennett. After only 4 months of their marriage, things began to go south. But little did they know this was just the beginning to an horrifying end. On November 29, 2017, Henrico County police officers issue arrest warrants for Steven and Katie. In late January 2018, Steven and Katie are arrested and charged with incest and adultery. Steven was first to get released on bond and ordered to have no contact with one another. Katie gets bail and moves back to New York to live with her adoptive parents. Steven's mother gains custody of their son. Alyssa was not happy with the custody going to Steven's mother, as she thought Steven would harm the baby, and his mother couldn't stop him even if she wanted to. Katie breaks the no-contact order and calls Steven to break up with him. She decides to end her relationship with Steven. Steven was not happy with Katie's decision, so on April 11, 2018, Steven picks up his and Katie's baby from his mother's house. He brings the baby back to his house, where he later ruthlessly suffocates the baby and leaves his body in a closet. After that, still enraged, Steven drives through the night from North Carolina to New York. He reaches out to Katie's adoptive parents' house. Steven was familiar with their routine. He waits outside of the home of Katie's adoptive parents. He watched as Katie and her adoptive father left together in a vehicle. He followed the two as they drove from Wingdale to New Milford. While stopped at a stop sign between Route 7 and 55, Steven shot Katie and her adoptive father, killing them both. An off-duty firefighter witnessed this incident and calls 911. Even Steven's mother calls 911 and reports the incident.
He's not home. His wife broke up with him over the phone yesterday. And he told me, she's in New York, and he told me he was on his way. He called me last night and said he's on his way. He's going to bring the baby to her. And then he was coming back. And he said, he doesn't have, he killed his wife, he killed her father, and I can't even believe this. How did he, did it happen at Knightdale? No, his wife and father are in New York. And the incident, he left the baby dead when he left. Okay.
Few miles from where Katie and her adoptive father was shot, police finds a light-color minivan. Police thought they had their suspect, but when they reached towards the car they saw, Steven had gunned on himself and took his own life. Unfortunately, this disturbing tale ended violently. An officer working the case stated, "We may never understand the mindset or motives of Steven Plaid, but we do know his actions have shattered the lives of countless people." Additionally, this case has brought more attention to a term called genetic sexual attraction, which is used to describe the intense physical and emotional feelings that some people experience following restored contact between an adopted person and a close member of his or her birth family. Some people believe genetic attraction to be a delayed byproduct of missed bonding. Believe it or not, Katie and Steven are not the first father and daughter couple to fall in love. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope these stories brought you some thrilling and intense moments. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit like, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss another unsolved mystery. Leave a comment below about which case intrigued you the most, and feel free to suggest any cases you'd like me to cover in the future. See you in the next video.